Tonight, a Boston suspect is released as the FBI investigates the wife of another. Don Daler reports on how Catherine Russell became Mrs. Tamerlan Tsarnaev. Surprise Israeli airstrikes send a message to Iran and to the United States. Alan Pizzi is in Israel. How did a bride's party erupt into flames in California? Ben Tracy is following the investigation. And she's depending on U.S. forces to defend her people. In her first television interview, South Korea's Iron Lady, Park Geun-hye, tells Margaret Brennan she won't hesitate to strike back against the North.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. One of the suspects arrested in an alleged cover-up of the Boston bombing is out of jail tonight. 19-year-old Robel Philippos is charged with lying to federal investigators. He was released on $100,000 bond. He will be confined to his mother's home, and he will have to wear an ankle bracelet. 2 other men, students from Kazakhstan, remain in custody, charged with concealing and destroying evidence. All 3 men were classmates of Jahar Tsarnaev, who is charged with the bombing itself. Tsarnaev is being treated in a prison hospital. Relatives still can't find a cemetery who is willing to bury his brother Tamerlan, who was killed in a shootout with police. Tamerlan's wife has become the focus of the bombing investigation, and Don Daler is following that for us in Boston.
Catherine Russell, Tamerlan Tsarnaev's widow, has tried to remain out of sight. Today, we caught a glimpse of her being driven from her parents' home in Rhode Island. But investigators still have questions for her, such as what, if anything, she knew about the bomb plot. People who remember her from high school have questions too, wondering how she went from an outgoing daughter of a doctor to a quiet woman on welfare who converted to Islam. Amos Trout-Payne taught her art at the local high school.
You knew her as Katie Russell.
Yes, I did.
What was she like?
Katie was a very good student, very talented, very intelligent. She was able to carry a good conversation, and she had a lot of friends, from what I noticed.
What were her artistic abilities like?
I'd say she was in the top of the class.
But instead of art, she studied communications at Suffolk University, where she met a young boxer named Tamerlan Tsarnaev at a nightclub. In 2010, Russell asked Imam Talib Mahdi of the Masjid al-Quran Mosque to marry them.
We wished them the best. We gave them the vows, and that was it.
He had never seen them before, nor since. The FBI searched the apartment that Russell shared with her husband and 3-year-old daughter again this weekend. Investigators found a link to the Al-Qaeda magazine Inspire on her computer, but sources tell us it was a laptop she shared with Tsarnaev, and they now believe he was the one who downloaded that material. But they're still curious about her communications with her husband after the bombs went off.
Catherine Russell seems to be distancing herself from her deceased husband. She no longer uses her married name, and she released a statement through her attorney saying she doesn't want to claim his body. Instead, she wants his family to do so. And Scott, her lawyers insist she had no knowledge of the bomb plot and that she mourns the loss of life.
Many leads to follow, Don. Thank you very much. The FBI said today that it broke up a planned terror attack in western Minnesota. Agents raided a mobile home on Friday and found Molotov cocktails, pipe bombs, and at least 1 assault rifle. The man who lives there, Buford Rogers, is a felon and is being held without bail this evening for allegedly possessing a firearm. A neighbor told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that Rogers is a white supremacist. Late today, we got word that an Air Force officer was arrested for sexual assault, but the remarkable thing is the accused man was the chief of the Air Force Sexual Assault Prevention Unit. David Martin is following this breaking story.
This is the mugshot of Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Krasinski, his face showing signs of a struggle. The police report alleges that a drunken Krasinski approached a female victim in a parking lot and grabbed her breasts and buttocks. The victim fought the suspect off as he attempted to touch her again and alerted police. News of the weekend incident in the Virginia suburbs of Washington broke the day before the Pentagon is scheduled to release new figures showing a continuing rise in sexual assaults in the military. A 6% increase from from 3,192 to 3,374 reports of sexual assault in fiscal year 2012 compared to the previous year. Estimates of the actual numbers of what is a notoriously underreported crime go much higher. According to Pentagon figures, an estimated 26,000 servicewomen experienced unwanted sexual contact, up from 19,300 2 years ago, a number the Pentagon says is unacceptable. Krasinski has been removed from his job, but that will not change the reality that the Pentagon's own figures show sexual assaults are on the rise in the military.
David, thank you. Overseas, Syria's dictator has made no effort to retaliate against Israel for those surprise airstrikes. Over the weekend, Israeli jets bombed a military complex near Damascus. It was unrelated to Syria's civil war. The Israelis claim that Iranian missiles were stored in the complex and were going to be shipped to Hezbollah, a Lebanese terror group that is Israel's sworn enemy. Alan Pizzi is in Tel Aviv following developments for us.
The Israeli airstrike on a Syrian weapons warehouse raised little outcry in the Middle East, partly because the Iranian missiles kept there were seen as a legitimate threat to Israel, and partly because President Bashar al-Assad has little support after 2 years of war in which 80,000 Syrians have been killed. According to retired Israeli military intelligence chief Major General Amos Yadlin, it was a perfect time for the attack.
The fact that Israel found the right timing when the legitimacy of Assad is so low, when Iran and Hezbollah helping him to kill his own people are not also so popular.
Israel sees the raid as a strategic success because it cut the arms pipeline from Iran to Lebanon, where the weapons would end up in the hands of Hezbollah. According to the Israelis, the missiles were Fatah 110s, capable of carrying half-ton warheads with pinpoint accuracy deep into Israel. The Israelis have reportedly told the Syrians that the attack had nothing to do with the ongoing struggle to oust al-Assad, but the Israelis see the chaos in Syria as working to their advantage. The Israelis have also made it clear they're prepared to strike any targets in Syria that they perceive as a threat. And this time they think even their enemies aren't unhappy about it. Scott?
Alan Pizzi in Tel Aviv. Alan, thanks. This is the third time in 3 months that Israel has struck without the Syrians getting off a shot. Military analysts tell us it sends a message to Iran to stop shipping weapons to Syria, and it sends a message to the United States that establishing a no-fly zone to protect Syrian rebels could be done, even if it would be expensive and risky. 8 months after 4 Americans were killed in an attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya, a career diplomat is raising new questions about a possible cover-up. Greg Hicks will appear before a House committee on Wednesday. He has already told congressional investigators that there was no demonstration the night of the attack and that he repeatedly asked if the Pentagon could scramble jets to scare the attackers away. He was told that that wouldn't be possible. In an interview with R. Margaret Brennan, the president of South Korea says that she will respond if North Korea tries even a limited attack. Park Geun-hye is a fascinating character. She is the first woman president in a male-dominated society, and she's as tough as they come. Her father was a dictator who was assassinated. Her mother was also assassinated, and President Park herself was viciously slashed with a razor in 2006. Tonight, she has done her first television interview.
The last time that North Korea attacked the South was 3 years ago. It shelled an island, killing 4 people. South Korea's military did not return fire. We asked South Korea's new president how she would respond.
Would a small-scale attack, like what happened in 2010, be considered a provocation worthy of a military response by you?
예, 반드시 대가를 치르도록 할 것입니다.
Yes, we will make them pay.
Since becoming president, Park Geun-hye has taken a hardline approach to North Korea. In the past, a weapons test was followed by negotiations to exchange food aid and money for North Korea to halt its nuclear program. Park said she won't play that game.
북한이 협박을 하고
So North Korea engages in provocations, threats. This is followed by negotiations and assistance. And so we saw an endless continuation of this vicious cycle, and it is time for us to put an end to that cycle.
North Korea's rhetoric has not helped. Last month, its state media used a traditional term for a woman who has forgotten her place.
The North said that the venomous swish of your skirt was responsible for the buildup in tensions. What did that mean to you? How did that make you feel?
어떤 사실을 갖고 얘기를 하지 않고
In my view, the very fact that they're not basing their comments on facts, but resorting to various ad hominem attacks, referring to my dress and whatnot, is a sign that they have very weak rationale, that their rationale is extremely weak, and that they feel very cornered. I think it's a telling sign of that.
Park brushed off the verbal attack. Her toughness has earned her the nickname the Iron Lady of Asia. Even though her mother was killed by a North Korean spy, she still met face-to-face in 2002 with the man who likely ordered that attack, North Korea's Kim Jong-il, the father of the current president.
Would you meet with Kim Jong-un face-to-face, and what would you say?
북한은 변해야 된다.
I would tell him that North Korea must change. That is the only way to survival and the only way to development.
So Margaret is joining us now here. Margaret, President Park and President Obama are supposed to meet at the White House tomorrow. What do you expect from that?
Well, U.S. officials really want to know whether Park thinks it's possible to begin talks with North Korea about its nuclear program. And she told us that if North Korea takes the right steps, they'll be rewarded. But so far, she has not gotten the response she hoped for. And she said the United States, China, other world powers need to put them in a situation, force them to change, give them no choice. And that's an even harder line policy.
Margaret, thanks very much. All that tough talk might be working. North Korea has withdrawn 2 missiles that it had threatened to test. President Obama is looking to improve relations with members of Congress, and toward that end, he took 3 members of the Senate golfing today at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. Democrat Mark Udall of Colorado and Republicans Bob Corker of Tennessee and Saxby Chambliss of Georgia. We don't know if it's working, but Chambliss scored a hole-in-one on the 11th hole. In case you were wondering, we did a little bit of checking. It turns out at least 4 presidents have shot a hole-in-one: Eisenhower, Nixon, Ford, and Clinton. None of them, though, while they were in office. Let the buyer beware. The days of tax-free online purchases may be ending. What caused a stretch limo filled with partiers to burst into flames? And a utility is hit with a massive fine after an explosion incinerated a neighborhood. That's when the CBS Evening News continues.
Liberate yourself from winter with the Infinity Limited Engagement Spring Event. Get the best offers of the season, including an Infinity JX for $469 a month. Infinity, inspired performance.
Pain not sitting too well, burning to feel better, itching for relief? Preparation H offers the most maximum strength solutions for all hemorrhoid symptoms from the brand doctors recommend most. Preparation H. Don't stand for hemorrhoids.
Look what Mommy's having. Mommy's having a French fry. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Could have had a V8. 100% vegetable juice with 3 of your daily vegetable servings in every little bottle.
This is George. The day building a playset begins with a surprise twinge of back pain and a choice.
Take up to 4 Advil in a day, or 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
That's handy.
Nail fungus, you need to do something.
Embarrassing.
You need Carousel's Fungal Nail Renewal Treatment. It has the clinically proven nail-penetrating formula that restores healthy nail appearance fast. Carousel Nail, the art of healthy-looking nails.
Okay, so this is me. I use artificial tears often. Checking emails, having lunch with friends, watching movies. So I saw my eye doctor, and she said I have a disease. That's a big deal. Your type of chronic dry eye disease causes inflammation that reduces your ability to make tears. You can use artificial tears for temporary relief, but you need prescription treatment, Restasis, cyclosporin ophthalmic emulsion. With continued use, twice a day, every day, Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the vial tip to your eye or other surfaces. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation.
Go to Restasis.com for a $20 rebate.
Ask your eye doctor about Restasis. After all, they're your eyes.
A story that broke in California over the weekend was so horrifying that it made headlines all over the country. 5 women were killed and 4 others were injured when a stretch limousine burst into flames on the San Mateo Bridge. Ben Tracy's been following the investigation.
Investigators say it does not appear the limousine was involved in a collision or ran over anything that would have started the fire. The women inside were celebrating a bridal shower for 31-year-old Nariza Fojas. She was one of the 5 who died. Foster City Fire Chief Michael Keefe.
But despite our best efforts, our actions could not change the course of events that led to this tragedy. We are devastated by this incident.
The driver says he pulled over when the women alerted him there was smoke. Other than the 2 rear doors, the only way to escape was through a partition window that separated the driver from the passengers, less than 8 feet from the flames at the rear of the vehicle. The driver says 2 women escaped through that partition. San Mateo County Coroner Robert Fulcroft says the dead were found huddled on the other side.
One could say that they were getting away from the fire, and that's why they were in the front towards the partition, and you could also probably say that they were trying to get out as well.
I saw the flames. I said, this is going to explode.
Roxana Guzman was driving on the bridge. Her husband shot this video.
When you drove by, what did you see?
I saw the fire. The flames were so big. I saw the ladies there crying. 2 of them were on the floor.
You didn't see anybody trying to open the doors or the windows of the car?
No one was trying to open the window or doing something else, because I think it was too late.
The owner of the limo company says the 1999 Lincoln was in good condition and the driver fully licensed.
Investigators say 2 of the women did manage to escape through one of the rear doors of the limo. The driver says that all of this happened in less than 60 seconds, and yet it took the fire department almost 12 minutes to reach them, and that's because of the length of this bridge. It's 7 miles long. They were coming from the east, had to turn around in an emergency turnoff to reach the westbound lane, Scott, where that limo was on fire.
Ben Tracy at San Francisco Bay. Ben, thanks very much. California regulators today proposed a record fine for a spectacular gas pipeline explosion in 2010. The fine amounts to $2.25 billion. The fireball in San Bruno killed 8 people and wiped out 38 homes. It was blamed on a faulty weld in a pipe. The regulators say that shareholders of Pacific Gas and Electric should pay the fine. One of the big advantages of online shopping may be going away. That story is next.
Why let constipation weigh you down? As soon as you feel it, try Miralax. It works differently than other laxatives. It draws water into your colon to unblock your system naturally. Don't wait to feel great. Miralax. Take the Miralax pledge to feel better sooner. Get a reward, like a beauty treatment, a dance class, or a $5 gift card with purchase of a specially marked pack. Go to Miralax.com for details.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Safelite's exclusive glass sealer resin lasts longer for the strongest repairs.
So many reasons to make the safe choice. That's the Safelite advantage.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Love. It's the most powerful thing on the planet. Love holds us in the beginning, comforts us as we grow old. Love is the reason you care for all the things in your life that make life worth living.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List. Reviews you can trust.
I got it, Mr. Drummond.
We're from Publishers Clearinghouse.
We did it! We did it! Did you bring the money? Tell my dad how much we won.
Sorry, Arnold. We're here for Willis.
What you talking about, man?
Okay, that wasn't real, but this is, and you could be next. Watch for the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes or go to PCH.com and enter. June 30th, you could win $1 million plus $5,000 a week for life.
Seneca Niagara Casino and Hotel, where value meets excitement. With 4,000 of the newest slots and biggest jackpots, 100 action-packed table games, award-winning restaurants, live entertainment, superior guest service, and a players club that makes every visit even more rewarding. Your winning destination, Seneca Niagara Casino and Hotel. Excitement worth sharing.
One reason a lot of folks like to shop online is that sellers often don't collect sales tax. In fact, a state can only force a retailer to collect the tax if the buyer lives in that state and the retailer has a store in the state. That may be changing. The Senate is voting tonight on a bill that would require most online retailers to collect sales tax for the state where the purchaser lives, whether the retailer is there or not. We asked John Blackstone to look into the impact of this.
From the basement of an old San Francisco warehouse, Sean Peng's company, Inspirair, sells women's clothing on the internet. Peng collects sales tax only from buyers in California, where his business is based. But now Congress is going to make you collect taxes all over the country.
Yeah, if that happens, I probably spend all my day, every single day, try to figure out the sales tax.
About $11.4 billion went uncollected from internet sales last year for the 45 states that charge sales tax. Online shoppers are supposed to pay the sales taxes when they file state income taxes, but few do. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin is a sponsor of the bill.
If you sell into a state like Illinois, you will collect our sales tax on the sales to Illinoisans buying your products.
It will be up to the online retailers to send the taxes they collect to the states.
We are requiring the states to provide software to the internet retailers free of charge so that they can collect the sales tax as it's charged on each internet purchase.
Internet companies say tax collecting will become a huge burden, but brick and mortar retailers have complained for years that tax-free sales give online retailers an unfair advantage. The bill applies only to companies with more than $1 million in sales. Inspirair is not that big yet, but Peng hopes to grow. Would you be in internet retailing if you'd had to collect sales tax across the country from the beginning?
Seriously, I would reconsider.
The bill faces stiff opposition in the House. If it becomes law, online stores could begin collecting taxes early next year. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
A Vietnam vet collected precious memories in a shoebox. We'll show them to you next.
With the Spark Miles card from Capital One, Bjorn earns unlimited rewards for his small business.
Take these bags to room 12, please.
Bjorn's small business earns double miles on every purchase every day.
Produce delivery. Just put it on my Spark card.
Why settle for less? Great businesses deserve unlimited rewards.
Here's your wake-up call.
Get the Spark Business Card from Capital One and earn unlimited rewards. Choose double miles or 2% cash back on every purchase every day.
What's in your wallet? Now, where's the snooze button?
If you're looking for help relieving heartburn caused by acid reflux disease, relief is at hand. For many, Nexium provides 24-hour heartburn relief and may be available for just $18 a month. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Don't take Nexium if you take clopidogrel. Relief is at hand for just $18 a month. Talk to your doctor about Nexium.
What's it take to make America run? Lots of hard-working Americans, creating the fuels for nearly 250 million vehicles at the world's most advanced refineries. About 170,000 miles of secure pipelines many of us never see. It's the world's largest energy infrastructure. Billions of investments in America, safely providing the fuels we need to power businesses, heat our homes, and keep America on the move. Log on to learn more.
I am an American success story.
I'm a teacher.
I'm a firefighter. I'm a carpenter.
I'm an accountant.
I'm a mechanical engineer.
And I shop at Walmart.
Truth is, over 60% of America shops at Walmart every month. I find what I need at a great price.
And the money I save goes to important things.
Races for my daughter. Little something for my son's college fund.
When people look at me,
I hope they see someone building a better life.
Living better. That's the real Walmart.
As a kid, I made a list of all the places I wanted to visit. I'm still not going to make it to Mars, but thanks to Hotwire's incredibly low travel prices, I can afford to cross more things off my list. This year alone, we went to the top of the Statue of Liberty and still saved enough to go to Texas, to a real dude ranch. Hotwire checks the competition's rates every day so they can guarantee their low prices. So we got our 4-star hotels for half price. Next up, Hollywood.
HOTWIRE, Hotwire.com.
Hot Rate Hotels now on sale. Save up to 70% on any weekend stay.
The most important moments of the most important news stories. Your world in 90 seconds. The Eye Opener, only on CBS This Morning.
Finally tonight, it's amazing what sometimes winds up in a shoebox. That is where an American veteran was keeping priceless treasures. And Lee Cowan has his story.
When Charlie Hoy was drafted into the Vietnam War in 1967, he had a choice. Tell the Army he was a cabinet maker, which he feared would ensure he'd carry nothing but a rifle.
I always carried the camera.
Or he could tell them about his childhood hobby, photography.
Being the battalion photographer hardly got you out of harm's way.
No, it didn't. It was it was a purpose. I mean, I had something to do besides wander around out there looking for a fight, you know.
He and his camera were assigned to the 25th Division, 2nd Battalion, 12th Infantry. The 2,000 images he captured were meant to boost morale.
They're all kids.
And they still are in your mind, it seems like.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
So what'd you do with them when you got home?
Put them in a drawer. You know, life's what happens while you're making other plans, you know.
He stored those negatives in envelopes, leaving them unopened for fear they would open old wounds.
Just the guys in the pictures, they were just damn good guys. And
Chris Regentine worked next to Charlie's woodworking booth at this community workshop in Portland. When he learned of Charlie's photos, he managed to convince him that a shoebox was no place for memories like that.
You were absolutely right.
When I first saw the first negative that I took out of the envelope, I immediately knew that it was going to be a collection of extremely powerful and important photographs.
What his camera captured all those years ago still resonates today, which is why Charlie Hoy agreed to open his lens again.
I'm not celebrating me, and I'm not celebrating the art. I'm celebrating the guys in the pictures.
His orders were to highlight young soldiers doing their duty. 45 years later, Charlie Hoy is still following orders. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Portland.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
After more than a decade, One World Trade Center is about to reach the top. We get a view of the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Hot enough for you? Make sure your air conditioner is ready for summer with Roy's $69 trouble-free tune-up. As Western New York's largest residential